Alright, I think it's about time I got back to Zapdos 777's DLC only stage. This is hopefully going to be the final update before I showcase the stage. The last version of the stage I covered was version 9, where Pichu was the only character I could debunk it with. But now we're on version 26, and in this video I'm going to be taking you through versions 10 through 26, what changes were made, and how they were debunked. And they start to get wild. I hope you enjoy. The best way to create a stage for a large group of characters that only they can pass is to find out what they all have in common that most of the cast does not. So it turns out that the DLC are not only blessed with great offensive capabilities, but just to give them something they might need, a little extra help, they've also been given an unwholesome amount of intangibility on their ledge rolls. Thus, from version 9 onward, a small strip of lava was put on the floor by the ledge setups to prevent pretty much everyone except DLC from rolling through. Simple, right? A clever solution. But there were a couple oversights. Well, more than a couple, but we'll get into that. On version 9, Pichu could reach this switch with his lightning. To solve this, in version 10, this platform was deepened so that Pichu could no longer reach. However, this had some unintended consequences. On V9, this wall would prevent villagers' log from hitting the switch. But after that platform got deepened, the wall was far away from Villager and could no longer stop his logs from hitting the switch. Next is Pokemon Trainer. Now I said it stops almost all non-DLC from rolling through. But let's be honest, Ivysaur's down air makes him DLC. Jumping to version 12, we see that a platform was added to prevent villagers' logs from hitting the switch. The platform here was extended to prevent PK Freeze from reaching this switch. A lava strip was added here overhead to prevent Ivysaur from rolling, and it turns out Steve couldn't pass the stage, so this section up here was added just for Steve. And now we arrive at the biggest menace to this stage, Greninja. Because he's a ninja, he can sneak past the lava without it even realizing. Then, and although this wasn't possible in version 9 of the stage, he can sneak past this block with his side special if he continues to hold right. In an attempt to resolve this in version 13 of the stage, this block was moved slightly to the right. This stops Greninja from getting through with his side special. Or at first it did. For some reason, after starting your side special, if you angle your stick up and right so that he stands up tall and walks slowly, he goes through for some reason. Yeah, this character doesn't really make much sense. In version 14 of the stage, the wall that prevented villagers' log from hitting the switch was transformed into a lava wall and floor, which also prevents Greninja from passing through that block without hitting the lava. So Greninja simply decides to ignore a different piece of lava and move on with his day. To resolve this, version 15 extended the lava floor and the lava ceiling, so that it would also stop Greninja from standing up. And this worked, except it didn't work, because there is a gap here, and that means Greninja can literally sneak past the lava. For version 16 of the stage, this open path was blocked off by a small vertical piece of lava. Next is Pac-man. Now this debunk is theoretical but substantially supported by this. Did you see it? Somehow the bumper prevents you from hitting the lava after you hit it sometimes, and I was able to put my shield up with Pac-man. Had I known this was going to happen and reacted properly, I could have rolled through instead. Pac-man can get through the wind with his hydrant and hit the switch with his bell afterward. So just in case Pac-man can get through there, this lava ceiling was lowered so that if Pac-Man puts a hydrant down, he will hit his head on the ceiling. After that change, I thought the stage might actually be done. But Peach was fresh in my mind because I was trying to get her into Elite Smash at the time. Her counter reminds me of Ice Climber's down special, which goes through walls, so I just had to try this. You may have seen me do this on other debunk videos, but this is actually the first time I thought of it. For version 18 of the stage, this block was lengthened even more to prevent Peach's counter from reaching the switch. Confident that the stage was finally complete, I began recording footage without music to showcase the stage. And then I learned something that really made me hate testing these custom stages. They're extremely inconsistent. Your ledge roll intangibility can change depending on what move you use to grab the ledge, and other factors. Link was not able to roll through that the last time I checked, but suddenly he could. But he also couldn't, because without any updates to the stage, sometimes he can't. Jumping to version 20, this piece of lava on the ground was made a little longer to stop Link from rolling through, and after discovering that Pac-Man could get through the wind in the middle section without his hydrant, a lava platform was added here to prevent Pac-Man's bell from hitting the switch. Surely now it's done, I thought to myself. But then I just had to try an idea I had a long time ago that I thought was so stupid it wouldn't work, just to be sure it was done. And to my extreme disappointment, it worked. For version 21, the lava on the floor was extended all the way to the end, and yes, DLC can still roll through this. Around this same time, subscriber and fellow Smash enthusiast Screw It was also testing the stage. He informed me that Snake and Toon Link could roll past the lava, like the DLC could, and asked me if I could try to hit the switch with Snake's missile. It took me about 11 minutes of trying, but I finally got it. Note this is TAD only, because you have to alternate between completely up and completely down every single frame to keep the missile going in a straight line in this awkward angled direction. Following Screw It's instructions, Toon Link is able to hit the switch with his boomerang and then roll through. Or he can roll through and then hit the switch with his boomerang. For version 22, the left wall of the lava pit was moved to the left so that Snake would land on it when he rolled, but it wasn't quite moved into the right spot, so in version 23 it was adjusted to stop Snake and Toon Link from rolling through. And then Luger from Luger Smash Debunks found a way to get Toon Link through. He took advantage of something that only characters that can hit themselves can take advantage of. After damaging himself, he did an air dodge into a tech roll on the sliver of platform before the lava. He described it as a glitchy tech roll, and Toon Link just ended up on the other side. Neither of us were able to replicate it, but here's my closest attempt. Regardless, since it does require teching, the lava on the floor was extended all the way to the left, so that there was nowhere left to tech, and this solved the problem. Oh, and yes, DLC can still roll through this. Zelda can also roll through this. But let's be honest, with the down special like Zelda's, she's practically DLC. I'm obviously joking, please don't be mad. In reality, Zelda was just barely not touching the lava. So in version 25, that was moved slightly to the left, and Zelda could no longer roll through. And finally, we're at the final debunk I found on this stage. It was already known that Snake could hit the switch with his up special, but it never really helped him, as he can't jump through this tiny gap. But then I learned something while trying to debunk the Steve One and Only stage. I'm pretty close, by the way. If you do a double jump out of knockback, even if your speed is back to 0, your double jump becomes a super duper double jump. And if you combine this with a neutral air dodge, Snake can jump through small lava gaps that were thought impossible before. You can see here that his speed has reached 0. He's no longer flying up. Now watch how high Snake's double jump out of knockback is. For version 26 of the stage, lava was added above the gap as a ceiling so that no one can jump through it anymore. And with that, I think the stage is finally done. But I only know Snake and Little Mac. The rest of the characters I don't know so well. So I need your help testing this stage to be 100% sure that no one but DLC can do it. Certain characters like Ridley, Duck Hunt, and Toon Link and Young Link are close, but couldn't quite do it. So what stage design lessons can be gleaned from this? Well, I think the most important stage design lesson to be learned here is that you should always build to the extremes. Stage resources are limited by the number of objects and the type of object, but not by the object's size or shape. So there's no harm in making things longer if needed. For example, most of the changes at the end were simply lengthening the lava floor, lengthening a wall, deepening a ditch, etc. It's better to design a section so that the character you want to be able to pass it can just barely pass it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.